not a sequel to Hellboy 1 or 2, despite the fact that Ron Perlman and Guillermo del Toro were trying to make a third one for a long time, and a lot of people wanted to see that third film. We're getting a reboot instead. And here, Hellboy battles a lot of monsters and demons and an ancient sorceress hell-bent on revenge. Despite being a big fan of the first two Hellboy films, I held no grudge against these filmmakers and actors for making a reboot. Why would I? I was, of course, curious to see what they could do with it. And having seen it, I do wish that Del Toro had just made a third one eventually with Ron Perlman in it, because I can pretty much guarantee it would have been a better movie. This film is not as bad as the outrage clickbaity machine the internet has become might have led you to think, but it does unfortunately feel like a film that's been botched in the editing room and changed considerably. And if reports are to be believed, it was a difficult set to work on because there were clashing creative minds. And whenever that happens on a set, especially when some people feel very prideful, that's a terrible scenario to be in as a creative person. I have a lot of love for Neil Marshall's films. The Descent is an excellent monster movie filled with amazing performances in a claustrophobic setting. Dog Soldiers is a highly underseen and extremely violent werewolf movie that I've always really liked. So when I heard that he was going to be doing Hellboy, I was honestly really pumped. And the fact that it's a rated R film too really lends to a lot of great possibilities. Unfortunately, similar to the Die Hard franchise, when the fourth film was PG-13 and the fifth one was rated R, or the AVP franchise when the first was PG-13 and Requiem was rated R, making Hellboy rated R has done it no favors. It's just got blood in it, which is cool. Some of the violence and action sequences are really awesome, actually. There's a great one with 3 giants, and there's a cool scene in the middle where he's fighting this creature that sometimes turns around and walks like a lobster. The action scenes can be really entertaining and fun, and the violence is very, very gory, but at the same time, it just feels at the expense of a story that isn't really there. It doesn't feel like there's a reason for this reboot to exist. Once you see the film from beginning to end, the bases it covers are similar bases that the first two Hellboy films did, and it doesn't cover them as well as those films either. Even some of the special effects don't look as good as those earlier films. The special effects here can feel like they're reaching a little bit, just beyond the budget they have to try to create something amazing, and it's just not quite there yet. Still, there's some great makeup work, especially David Harbour as Hellboy, which, let's talk about him. He's terrific. He's my favorite part of this movie by far. Still love Ron Perlman as Hellboy, but David Harbour is really good. Very funny, extremely likable, and in the scenes that require him to really lash out about his past, especially the relationship with his father, played by Ian McShane, he's excellent in those scenes as well. But as far as performances go, he's definitely the strongest, and most of the cast doesn't come off that great. There's a lot of very wooden and hammy performances here that just don't fit in. But easily my biggest issue with the film is unfortunately the script. It doesn't really feel like there is one. You can tell that it's been changed a lot or shifted around in the editing room or on set. Nothing feels like it flows. Characters go from place to place, and they try to make it be as fast-moving as possible by having every single scene build to the next one. But once you get to the new scene, you almost forget where you were before, because it just felt so throwaway, with tons and tons of needless exposition and voiceover. This movie definitely talks down to the audience. It makes you feel like you're an idiot sometimes, with the way everything is explained in explicit detail constantly, as if you needed to know everything and couldn't just understand it if you saw it. The song choices too for the film felt out of left field, almost like they were just choosing various songs to lighten the mood and make you feel like you were having a good time, even though what you're looking at doesn't seem to accompany the music you're hearing. They're just trying to create a tone through good song choices, and that didn't work for me either. If the reports are to be believed, I wish that Neil Marshall was just given complete creative freedom on this movie and allowed to make the choices that he wanted to make, because he's a fantastic filmmaker and I can't wait to see what else he does. David Harbour is good as Hellboy, but this is nowhere near as good as the previous Hellboy films, which I would highly recommend you guys check out if you've never seen them. I'm going to give Hellboy a C-. But let me know what you thought of Hellboy if you guys did see it, because I'm curious to see what other people think. And I also want to give a big thank you to the sponsor for this video, and that is ExpressVPN. If you guys do a lot of shopping online like I do, which is usually Blu-rays, anime, game memorabilia, and other things like that people like me like to collect, then you like your privacy and you want to make sure that you feel protected and safe online. and ExpressVPN is excellent at keeping your information safe. They have the fastest speeds, consistently faster than other VPN services, and they have servers in 94 countries. They have apps for every device: Windows, iOS, Android, Mac, Linux, router, and more. It's less than $7 a month with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So find out how you can take your internet privacy back today, and please visit expressvpn.com/Chris Stuckman in the description box below, and you can get 3 months for free. That's expressvpn.com/Chris Stuckman. Thank you so much to them for sponsoring this video, and thank you to you guys for watching. As always, if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.